Okay, good evening, class. So in this meeting, we will be discussing the finance list in the point of view of the books of the lessor, and then sale and lease back in the point of view of the books of the lessor. So let's start. So previously, no, we already discussed the treatment for operating lease in the books of the lessor. So we already partially discussed no about the finance lease sa point of view ni lessor. So this time, continue na lang natin siya, no. So, na-mention na din natin before, no? Kailan masasabi kung operating or finance lease. So, kapag finance lease indicator, yun nga, merong transfer ng title at the end of the lease term. Second is may option to purchase na reasonably certain. Third is yung lease term is major part of the economic life of the said leased asset. So, hindi ko to na-mention last time, pero yun, paano masasabi kung major part of economic life? So, kapag siya ay, si lease term ay 75% of the economic life of the leased asset. So fourth is at the inception of the lease, the present value of lease payment is at least substantially all or mention natin before ay at least 90%. Okay, 90% siya of the leased asset's fair value. And then lastly is if the asset is in specialized nature, only lessee can use without major modification. So na-discuss na natin yung previously and also yung ano natin, yung yan, yung finance lease natin. So, ano yung net investment? Kapag tinatanong yung net investment of the lease, so yun ay gross investment of the lease discounted at the implicit interest rate. So, pag sinabing discounted, ibig sabihin is pinresent value natin yung certain na future value ng lease payments na yon. So, ano yung minimum lease payments natin? So, yun daw ay itong 5 na to. So, yung mga fixed payment natin, variable, any residual, guaranteed man yan or unguaranteed. Since sa point of view nga ni lessor, wala tayong concern kung ano siya, kung um, unguaranteed or guaranteed kasi either way naman kung unguaranteed yan is mare-recover pa rin naman niya yun through the use of the said asset, 'di ba? After ibalik sa kanya yung asset. So, fourth is exercise price and a bargain purchase option, and then lastly is the penalties. Na-mention ko before, same lang sila nung ano natin, nung sa point of view ni lessee natin ng mga minimum list payments. So, for moving forward, na-discuss na din natin, no, yung ano natin, dalawang type of finance lease, which is yung direct financing lease and then yung dealer or manufacturer's lease. So, most likely, no, yung entry natin sorry, yung entry natin, same lang sila. Either direct financing or dealer, meron lang silang slight difference. So, yung slight difference natin na yan is yung cost of sales, sales, and inventory. Kasi, ito yung treatment or entry natin sa kanya. Pero, sa direct financing kasi, since ang direct financing is binili siya nung finance company to be leased out, so asset for release yung kinikredit natin. While yung itong dealer, so dealer na kasi siya nung nililist niya to sell na asset. So, kaya dito, ang nangyari, tinatanggal niya sa inventory, ginagawa niya yung cost of sale. And at the same time, meron siyang recognition ng sale, which is yung selling price, no? At that point of sale. Okay? So, yung ano natin. So, moving forward, so na-discuss na natin yan. So, ang major difference nila, si direct financing, wala siyang gross profit. Kasi nga, asset for lease lang yung kinikredit niya, wala namang sale or like that. So, sa number 2, or dealer or manufacturer's lease lang yung meron ka talagang nare-recognize na sale, and then meron kang na-recognize din cost of sale. Kasi kung may sale ka, and then dealer or manufacturer ka, you need to recognize that. Kasi nga, para matanggal mo na siya dun sa inventory mo. So meron tayong ano kailangan tandaan dito sa sales, no? May asterisk ako dan. So again, yung sa sales natin dan is fair value of the leased asset or present value of the leased payment, whichever is lower of the two. Okay? Okay. So, moving forward, so na-discuss na naman natin to previously. So, yun yung major difference nila. And then, next to that, meron tayong slide, no? I-recall na lang din natin. So, again, ito yung entry natin kapag dealer or manufacturer's lease, yung type of finance lease natin. So, sabi dito, no? Na-mention natin kanina, si residual value is wala masyadong concern doon. Si lessor, sa point of view ni lessor, wala tayong masyadong concern. Kasi, in effect, si residual value, part siya ng finance lease receivable natin, which is yung debit side natin dito, which is yung, ano natin, yung gross investment natin. So ito siya, no? So si residual value kasi, yun nga kasama si ano natin, doon sa finance lease receivable, either guaranteed or unguaranteed. And then meron lang siya difference sa treatment sa kanya. Pero in effect naman, yung same na treatment sa kanila is same lang sila ng effect na it increases the gross profit or the dealer's profit. So ano yung difference nila? So si guaranteed residual value, since guaranteed nga siya, so guaranteed na yun talaga yung babalik sa kanya, na value nun. So in that case, ang magiging entry natin dito is yung present value ng guaranteed residual value nito will increase the selling price. Okay? So, yun siya. Kasi nga, ginaranti na ni Leslie, di ba? So, yung, in effect, ang treatment data sa kanya, increase siya sa selling price na it increases the gross profit. So, yung unguaranteed residual value naman, siya naman ay nire-reduce niya yung cost of goods sold or cost of sale, which is, again, kapag binawasan mo yung cost of sale, ang effect nun sa gross profit increase naman. So, yun yung mention ko kanina na either guaranteed or unguaranteed, they increase the gross profit in different ways lang. Si guaranteed, the present value increases the selling price or the sales, while si unguaranteed naman is reduces the cost of sales by its present value. Okay? So, throughout the discussion mamaya ng mga examples sa reference book natin, so sabi doon, yung bargain purchase option is also treated like the guaranteed residual values. Ibig sabihin, pag may bargain purchase option, ang treatment po doon is like a guaranteed residual value. So, it means you increase the present value of that present value would increase the selling price. That again, it increases the gross profit natin. So paano ma-compute yung discount? So difference lang yan nung gross investment. Pati yung ano natin, yung gross investment, pati yung present value of minimum lease payments natin. Or what you call this, fair value ng leased asset. So yan siya. Okay? So yun yung kailangan lang natin tandaan related sa number 1 at number 2 natin na direct financing lease tsaka si dealer or manufacturer's lease. So moving forward, so tandaan lang natin yun, kaya na nating tandaan yung paano natin makakompute yung mga next na example. So, moving forward, before that, no, recall lang natin, again, kapag merong initial direct cost, for example, may directly attributable cost to the negotiation of the said lease. So, sabi dito, initial direct cost is either selling expense or siya daw ay CGS or cost of goods sold. Okay, so ganun daw. Ganun daw yung treatment kay initial direct cost. Kapag, again, kapag dealer, selling expense or CGS. Pero kapag ikaw ay direct financing, ang treatment natin sa initial direct cost ay deduction sa discount. Kung deduction sa discount, ibig sabihin is increase sa net investment, and at the same time, kung na-deduct si discount mo, ibig sabihin is ano siya, deduction din siya dun sa ano natin sa revenue, kasi in effect imbis sa debit discount credit interest ang mangyayari debit discount credit cash for the paid initial direct costs. Okay, so yun yung effect ng initial direct cost sa direct financing. It reduces the discount, thus increasing the net investment and thus reducing also the interest revenue. Okay, so moving forward, so proceed na tayo sa ating medyo madami examples natin, no? So para ano lang natin, ma-apply natin yung mga discuss natin sa treatment natin for direct financing and dealer or manufacturer's lease sa point of view ni lessor. Okay? Okay. So moving forward, so mag-a-annotate ako na para masundan natin yung ano natin sa book. Okay? So, first example natin, sabi dito, direct financing lease. So, yung una natin, direct financing lease. So, again, kapag direct financing lease, ang entry mo lang doon is yung ano natin, finance lease receivable, and then yung leased asset, tsaka yung first payment na na-receive, and also yung ano natin, yung discount, if meron mang discount. Okay? So, sabi dito, direct financing lease yung ano natin with no guaranteed or unguaranteed residual value. Ibig sabihin, future payments lang yung given na value sa atin. Walang given na residual value, either guaranteed or unguaranteed. So, sabi dito, on August 1, 2024, sa XYZ Corporation leased a machine to ABC. Ibig sabihin, si lessor, si XYZ LR. Okay? Si ABC siya si lessee. So for 5-year period, requiring payments of 100,000 at the beginning of each lease year. Ibig sabihin, every August 1 yung payment natin for 5 years, starting the first day of the lease term na August 1. 2024. So the machine costs 417,000 pesos, which is, sasabi dito, the fair value at the lease date. So equal naman daw si fair value pati si machine cost. So the machine has a useful life of 5 years. So same with the police term, we also have 5 years with no residual value since yun nga yung given sa atin na scenario. So XYZ, ayan, given si implicit then na 10% and then appropriately recorded the lease as direct financing lease. So again, gross investment is kung ano yung not yet or collected as of the commencement date. So in this case, bayad na yung 100,000 out of the 5-year na 100,000 per year. Ibig sabihin, 4 years na lang na 100,000 yung ma-receive mo in the future. So ang gross investment po as of the commencement date would be 400,000. While you need to compare that with the present value to get the discount. So, paano ngayon yung present value? So, sabi dan sa 500,000 na magiging payment sa'yo for the whole lease term, 100,000 is bayad na. So, ibig sabihin, mayroon na lang tayong ipipresent value na 100,000 for 4 years na lang. So, in this case, sabihin, ang next payment mo after a year pa. Ang reference date mo, August 1, 2024. Ang next payment, which is 2025, ibig sabihin ay 1 year onwards na yung makakalipas. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay ordinary annuity yung gagamitin natin. So, implicit rate ay 10%. So, implicit rate 10% and then si ordinary annuity natin through 4 years. So, makukuha mo na si 3.17. So, 1 divided by 1.10 raised to 4. And then 1 less yung na-compute mo doon divided by 0.10. So, makuha mo kasi 3.1698. So, rounded to 2 decimal, 3.17. So, you will now get 317,000. So, the difference would amount to the discount, which is si 83,000. So, gross investment, ito ay net investment natin, si 317. Okay. So, the journal entries for the years 2024-2025 are given in this page, no? So, first entry mo, so ganun pa rin yan yung discuss natin kanina, no? Again, cash for the first payment, kung meron ng first payment on the said date. Sabi kasi, first day, nagbayad na agad. So, 100,000 yon. Financial receivable mo is yung gross investment na 400,000. And then, si equipment for lease, so sabi dito si fair value, and then, which is also equivalent to the cost of the equipment, is for 17,000. And credit si discount on the finance lease, which is yung na-compute natin dito na 83,000 pesos. So since the corporation reports in a calendar year basis and the lease term does not coincide with the calendar years, ibig sabihin you need to account for the adjusting entry every December 31. So in this case, so discount amortization should be recorded as of the year end. So August 1 yung last entry mo, so ibig sabihin August, September, October, November, December. So 5 months based dun sa amortization table natin. Okay, which is 317 times 10%. Add mo yung, bawas mo pala yung reduction in the net investment kasi yun yung applied to the principal. So, pababa siya. So, sabihin, 31,700 yung first mo na applied to interest as of the next August 1, 2025. So, 1 year, meron kang interest na 31,700 na interest revenue siya and then discount. And since 5 months pa lang yung nakakalipas, so yung 31,700, again, prorate lang tayo. So, yung discuss natin before sa bonds. So, prorate ka lang, debit discount, 13,208, credit interest revenue for the said amount, 13,208. Okay? So, same goes with August 1, nagkaroon ng first payment, ay ng second payment. So, debit cash for the amount received. And then, bawas siya dun sa freelance lease receivable mo na buo. And then, you need to record the remaining discount amortization, which is yung remaining 7 months na lang kasi na-record mo na yung 5 months. Okay, so ito na yan. Okay? So, December 31, no, na mali lang yun ng recordan, dapat ito ay discount, no? Hindi siya na-update. So, discount dapat yan. So, other term kasi dito is unearned interest revenue. Pero since dapat parallel, no, ang na-record mo discount. So, dapat pa nag-amortize ka, discount din. So, may mga ibang ano kasi na unearned interest revenue yung naka-record nila. So, in that case, yun dapat ibawas nila. Okay? So, moving forward, wait lang ha. Okay. So, moving forward, no, so ito na yung second na adjusting entry natin for year 2025. So, na-record na natin siya. So, anong basis nan uli? Again, ito lang yun, yung amortization table for a full year every August 1. Okay? Okay. So, if you need to verify or para ma-double check kung magkano yung interest per year na inallocate yung 83,000 na discount natin to interest income. So, pwede mo naman siyang gawin. So, ang gagawin mo lang dan is, again, tong mga interest mo na to is i-prorata mo siya, hatiin mo siya ng pang January 1 to July 31, and then August 1 to December 31. So, makuha mo yan. Pag tinutal mo to, ito yon yung 24,870, pag tinutol mo, ayun yun. Pag tinutol mo to, 17,357. Then 9,073 pag tinutol mo to. So, hiniwalay-hiwalay niya lang para mapakita niya kung magkano per year yung mare-recognize as interest income given that adjusting entries are properly recorded. Okay? So, moving forward, so the lessor should recognize the asset held under a finance lease as a receivable at an amount equal to the net investment in the lease. So yun na nga yung nangyari doon. So the current and non-current portion of the net investment in the lease on December 31 is as follows. So sa book natin, if you refer to our book, page 220, so meron tayo doon December 31, 2024 and 2025. Pinakita doon kung magkano yung net investment sa lease na current tsaka non-current. Pero nilagay ko na lang sa slide is yung December 31, 2024 since same lang naman ng rationale kung paano siya kunin. Okay? So if you can still remember yung sa bonds payable natin or sa receivable natin, paano malalaman yung net investment or amortized cost? Eh di yung finance lease receivable na gross lang, 'di ba? Ililes mo yung discount. Okay? Discount balance. 'Di ba? Yun yung ginagawa natin doon. So in that case, kung yun yung gagawin natin, so ganun din yung gagawin natin dito. So as of December 31, 2024, ang entry pa lang ay ito. 'Di ba? So in that case, yung finance lease receivable mo, 400 siya before. As of December 31, 400 pa rin siya. And then yung discount mo, initially, 83,000 siya, pero meron ka nang reflect na 13,208. So, kaya ang balance mo na lang doon ay sa 69,792. Okay, so kaya yun na lang yung binawas natin as of 2024 to get the net investment. So you have 330,208. Okay? So, sa total na to, may mga minsan no, sa problem, hinahanap what is current, what is non-current. Again, we should still apply pa rin yung na-discuss natin before. Ano ba yung payable within a year as of the reporting end period? Yun yung current. So, in this case, yung payable ng August 1, 2025, yun yung current. And then yung onwards, yun na yung non-current. So in this case, ano yung payable na August 1, 2025? Ito yung 100,000 na to, yung nagkaroon tayo ng entry ng 2025. And then, ano yung discount na ano natin dito na i-reflect. So in this case, ito yun yung 18,492 kasi na-reflect na yung 13,208 sa nabawas na siya dito sa 69. So, sabihin yung related na lang sa 100,000 is yung remaining na hindi pa nare-record na 18,492. So, kaya ito yung nireflect natin dito, giving us the net investment in the list na 81,508. So, non-current, same goes with that. So, 284,700 naman. Kung ano yung balance dito sa total after deducting the current. Okay? So, next to that, we have the other way to compute for the current portion of the net investment. So, paano malalaman yon? Alamin mo lang kung magkano yung principal na babayaran next year, pati yung interest na na-record na as of December 31 na kasama sa babayaran next year. So, in this case, ano ba yung principal due next year? So, kita naman natin dito, ang applied sa principal sa 68,300, diba? So, sabihin, yung payable ng August 2025 as of 2024, so si principal due next year sa 68,300. And then yung interest na babayaran mo, so 31,700 talaga siya, di ba? Pero since kasi as of 2024, ang recorded pa lang ay si 13,208. So, ibig sabihin, ang accrued interest natin is si, sorry, okay. So, accrued interest natin na classified pa rin as part of the net investment or receivable natin. So, in this case, yung accrued mo yun na 13,208. Kasi sa 31,700, ito pala yung recorded. Yung 18,490 ay, ano pa siya, mag-earn pa siya, ma-earn pa siya ng this January 1 up to July 31. So in that case, kaya 13,208 yung binigay natin dan. So ito lang yung other way. So you can still apply it to get for the 2025. So nasa book din naman natin yun. Page 220 pesos. So at the end of the lease term, so mauubos na yung finances receivable mo and also the sa discount. So giving us zero net investment. So ito na nga yung nandito natin. After the lease term. No? So, ang tawag pala sa entry na to is si gross method, no? So, we record the finance lease receivable at gross amount, and then we record the discount related to that para malaman natin kung magkano yung net investment. So, may tinatawag kasi tayong net method of entries. So, sa net method of entries, you can refer to the page 221. So, ito kasi not commonly used, pero meron tinatawag na ganito. Net method of which, si finance lease receivable, minaminus niya na si discount. And then, nire-record niya na yun as, what? Net investment and lease. So, since wala nang discount na account, naka-net na tong dalawa. So, any discount amortization, ang record mo na dan, debit net investment. Credit si interest revenue. So, nakalagay yun sa page 221. So, yun yung other na way to record the finance receivable natin. Okay? So, let's proceed with the second example. So, kung yung first example, walang residual value, guaranteed man or unguaranteed. So, sa second naman nating example is meron na tayong, wait lang. Okay. So, sa second example natin, meron na tayong guaranteed residual value. So, take note, no, we have guaranteed, no? Residual value. So, sabi dito, ganun pa rin yung transaction. So, nagkaroon ng leasing of the machine. Pero kung kanina August 1, so ito a year-end na. And then, 5-year period requiring payments ng 100,000. Every December 31, nag-start yung payment on the date of commencement of the lease. So, the machine cost for 66,600. And then, also, it is the fair value at the commencement date. So the machine has a useful life of 6 years. So useful life 6 years with 80,000 residual value na guaranteed by the lessee at the end of the lease term. So XYZ Corporation, implicit is 10%, and then direct financing daw yung gagamitin natin. So, ganun pa rin ang method natin na gagawin. So, we have the gross investment, which is, kung bayad na yung 100, ibig sabihin, 4 years na lang yung gross investment receivable natin. So, 100 times 4, so same pa rin yun. And then, you need to add na si guaranteed residual value kasi di ba kasama yun dun sa finance minimum lease payments natin, yung 5. So, kasama siya dun. So, si 80,000 na yun, i-add mo siya. So, ang gross investment in the lease is C for 80,000 pesos. So, ngayon, ibabangga mo siya sa present value ng dalawang yan. So, yung 100,000 natin, same pa rin nung kanina natin, 4 years ordinary annuity using 10%. So, 3.17 yung times 100, 317 yung present value nun. And then, add mo lang yung present value ng 80,000 na nirefer din natin na gross investment kasi nga net investment is present value lang nun. So, present value nun is single payment. So, ito ay I guess ito ay 5 years. So, 1 divided by 1.10 raised to 5. Yeah, so 5 years yung ginamit dyan kasi nga 5 years before makolekta yung present value ng residual na yan. So, multiply mo lang siya. So, ang present value niya is 49,600 giving us 36,600 na net investment. So, difference ni net investment and si gross investment would be the discount. So, to record the entry, so, ganun pa rin. So, meron kang cash na initial payment na 100,000 sa'yo. Debit finance receivable, si gross investment mo, tsaka na which it includes the receivable and also the guaranteed. So, meron kang gross investment and the lease. So, that would be finance receivable for 80. Credit sa equipment for lease, which is given na naman na sa atin, cost or which is equal to also the fair value. So, credit yon. And then credit sa discount, which is na-discuss na natin na na-compute dito sa task, comparing the gross and the net investment on the lease. So, next to that, December 31, 2025, so record mo lang yung naging payment for the second time, which is nakabase lang tayo sa amortization table. So, ibig sabihin, payment 100 and then wala kang kailangan i-adjust yung entry kasi every December 31 naman, nag-coincide naman sa calendar year with the lease year. So, in that case, finance lease receivable mo, bawas mo na nga yun, yung discount natin na amortize, 36,660 and then credit sa interest revenue. So, na-mention natin kanina no, net method tsaka gross method yung pag-entries natin ng finance lease. Pero since yun nga, ang most common kasi is si gross kasi mas maganda yan kasi monitor natin yung balance ni discount or ni finance lease receivable na kailangan din naman parehas i-disclose dun sa notes to FS natin. So, mas maganda ang gross method talaga para at least monitored yung discount balance tsaka si finance lease receivable balance. So, in that case, sa mga susunod na example, gross method pa rin yung gagamitin natin. Diniscuss lang natin yung net method kanina. So, ito yon entry natin. So, sa 2026, ganun pa rin entry mo, pero ito lang yung amount. 3326. Yun lang yung magbabago. So, sabi dito, on December 31, 2029. So, the lease terms termination, kasi di ba, yun na yung last year. So, the asset will be reverted to XYZ Corporation. Kasi again, kapag may guaranteed residual value, ibig sabihin is babalik talaga kay lessor yung ano natin, yung asset upon termination. So, at such date, the receipt of the asset will be recorded kasi initially, di ba, binawas mo nga siya initially nung, kasi nga sure ka na, nag-lease to ano ka eh, nag-acquire to lease. So, pagbabalik na sa'yo, so entry mo lang si equipment sa'yo. So, debit equipment for lease, debit si discount on finance lease receivable. Kasi ang nangyayari, di ba, tinanggal mo siya sa equipment for lease mo. Kasi nga, kay recording ni lessee, siya ay right of use na dinidepreciate niya na sa part niya. So in that case, tinanggal mo na siya sa'yo. So kung babalik na sa'yo, debit mo siya uli as equipment for lease na naka-value na siya dun sa guaranteed residual value natin na 80,000. So debit discount, which is yung remaining na 7,361. And then si finance receivable mo, which is ito, di ba yung total mo 480. So yung 80 na to, yun yung tatanggalin mo sa finance receivable. Okay? So, ito ay guaranteed, no? So, sabi di, pag guaranteed kasi, ibig sabihin, ang magbe-bear ng losses ay si lessee. Okay? Pag nagkaroon ng pag-guaranteed, ang bear ng losses si lessee. So, if the lessor sells the asset at the end of the lease term and the proceeds from such sale are less than 80,000, so, pag nabenta niya daw yun na and then yung proceed ay less than 80,000, the difference will be made good by the lessee as the residual is guaranteed. So again, since kapag merong guaranteed, ang mag-shoulder ng loss ay si lessee. So the sale of the asset, kapag may namang ano sabi dito, kapag the sale of the asset is at more than 80,000, so hindi mabe-benefit si lessee, so si lessor yung mag-record ng any exceed from the proceeds. Kasi kung for example, 80,000 yung guaranteed na residual niya, so kung nabenta ni lessor ng higher than that, so ibig sabihin, yun yung fair value niya. So in that case, kung mas mataas yung nabenta yun sa 80,000, so gain yun ni lessor. So kasi na-discuss nga natin, any losses will be recorded by lessee, hindi naman gain. So kapag may gain, kay lessor pa rin yun. Okay? So ganun siya. So pag tinanong yung net investment at any year, so ito yung values natin. So pag tinanong uli kung ano yung current at non-current, so apply mo lang yung na-discuss natin kanina. Okay? Okay. So, next slide tayo, which is example number 3. So, sa example number 3, ito naman ay, dun pa rin, direct financing lease. Pero kung kanina guaranteed, ito naman ay unguaranteed. So, sabihin, any discrepancies at the end of the lease term, kung magkano yung residual value would not be borne by the lessee. So, in effect, ang any losses for the residual is borne by the lessor. So, assume pa rin, same nung kanina, pero ito ay unguaranteed. So, ito is we will discuss, na-mention natin kanina, if in the viewpoint of lessor, it would not matter kung residual ay guaranteed or unguaranteed. If the residual is unguaranteed, the lessor still expect to realize the residual value. So, kaya sinasama natin siya, 'di ba, sa computation. Unlike dun sa lessee's point of view natin, 'di ba, kapag unguaranteed, hindi natin sinasama sa pagko-compute ng present value. Guaranteed lang. Kasi in effect, yun lang yung, kumbaga, yun lang yung inacertain na babayaran in the future ni lessee kaya sinasama sa computation. So ito kasi kay lessor wala siyang pake kung unguaranteed or guaranteed kasi kahit di naman bayaran ni lessee yun, so sa point of view ni lessor, yung unguaranteed na residual value, pwede niya pa rin namang ma-realize yun through the usage of the asset once given back to them or through sale if bibenta man nila. So, yun yung sinabi dan. So, kung unguaranteed, the lessor still expect to realize the residual either through the use of the asset and through the sale kung kayo naman niya gusto ibenta after the lease term. So, for accounting purposes, it does not matter whether it will be received from the lessee. So, the net investment is still, so 366,600 dapat to, hindi 4, ha? 366,600 dapat to. 366,600. So, yun yung net investment natin on the lease. 366,600. Okay? So, moving forward, so the lessor's entries, the lessor's entries as if the residual value is guaranteed. Okay? However, if the lessor does not realize 80,000 from the leased equipment. So, at the end of the lease term, si lessor na yung magbe-bear ng loss. Kasi na-mention natin, any loss kapag unguaranteed, hindi na si lessor yung mag-shoulder. Ang mag-shoulder na ay si lessor. Okay? So, ganun yung mangyayari natin kapag unguaranteed residual value. So, next slide naman natin is si example number 4. So, sa example number 4 naman natin is direct financing lease with initial direct cost. So, kung kanina, sabi natin, related pa lang yun sa guaranteed or unguaranteed residual. So, this case naman, initial direct cost naman yung tinutukoy natin. So, again, yung initial direct cost kapag direct financing, saan siya? Siya ay bawas kay discount. So, na-discuss natin yung kanina. So, bawas siya kay discount na in effect, it increases the net investment, na in effect, it reduces the interest revenue. Okay? Yan yung na-discuss natin kanina. Initial direct cost under direct financing list reduces the discount. That kung na-reduce yung discount, it increases the net investment. Kung na-reduce yung discount, and then credit yung cash imbis na interest revenue, ibig sabihin na-reduce din yung interest revenue. So, yan yung effect kapag merong initial direct cost under direct financing list natin. Okay? So, other than those incurred by a manufacturer, so meron din daw initial direct cost kasi ano natin, direct financing. So in this case, yun na-mention ko na naman kanina. So, sabi dito, the interest rate implicit in the lease is defined in such a way that the initial direct costs are included automatically in the net investment in the lease. So, there is no need to add them separately. So, assume the following data. So, on December 31, 2024, si XYZ Corporation nag-lease daw uli ng machine kay ABC for a 5-year period requiring payments of 120 every December 31. So, the first periodic payment is due December 31. So, sabihin, may first payment na out of the 5 years na 120,000. So, the machine's carrying amount is 450 na equal din naman daw sa fair value at the commencement date. So, the machine has a useful life of 5 years with no expected residual value, and then the initial direct cost incurred in consummating the lease is 34,500. So, initial direct cost is 34,500. Walang residual, ang meron lang is initial direct cost. So, anong gagawin natin para ma-record yung ano natin? So, meron tayong 2 entries dito. So, yung una, yung normal entry if we don't have any discount, any initial direct cost. The second entry is the entry for the initial direct cost. So, in this case, finance lease receivable natin for 80 kasi nga 120 times 4 years na lang. And then, yung cash natin, may na-receive tayong 120 initially. And then, yung equipment for list natin, 450 din carrying tsaka fair value. So, 450 yung ano natin dan. So, ibig sabihin, yung difference natin would be constituted na as a discount on finance lease receivable. So, kahit di ka na mag-compute ng present value, so, ganun na siya. Okay? Okay, so moving forward, so we also have December 31, which is adjusting entry for the pala adjusting entry, the entry to record the initial direct cost. So again, siya ay deduction sa discount. So debit discount, imbes sa debit expense, debit discount, which is 34,500, and then credit si cash for the amount paid na 34,500. So, na-mention natin, it increases the net investments. Ibig sabihin, kung reduced na yung discount, so si 150 na to, nabawasan na siya. So, yung discount natin, 150 less 34,500. So, siya ay 115,500 na. And then, yung net investment natin is nag-iba na. Kasi initially, siya ay 480 less 150, which is 330. Pero since, di ba, ito ay it increases the net investment, so add mo pa yan. So, 330 plus 34.5, ibig sabihin, 364,500 yung ano natin, yung net investment in list natin, or yung ano natin, finance list less yung discount natin na balance, which is 36,4,500. So, ngayon, so sabi dito, wala tayong implicit rate, di ba? Hindi given. So, paano malaman yung implicit rate natin? So, dapat is reflected na yung related sa initial direct cost kapag tayo ay magde-discount na. Kasi nga, again, yung net investment mo ay reflected na dun yung 34,500. So, dapat yung implicit rate, it also included na yung any adjustment for the initial direct cost. So, in this case, so sabi dito, ang ano natin ay 364,500. So, ito yon. And then, sabi dito, which is 480 less yung ano natin, yung balance nga na 115. So, the net investment of 364 is then divided by the periodic payment. So, dinivide mo si net investment divided by 120 para malaman mo. Kasi di ba ang net investment natin, present value siya ng future payment. So, kung 120 lang yan, ibig sabihin ito yon. So, since sabi dito, present value nila yun, so 364 divided by 120, ibig sabihin, 3.0375 yung ordinary annuity factor na gagamitin natin. So, yun na yung factor niya. And then, di ba yung 120 na yan ay related sa 4 years na kasi nga yung 5th year ay naka-reflect na. So, ibig sabihin, titignan mo to sa table natin kung uh, ano ba yung rate na ginamit dan. So, pag nakita nyo, itong 3.0375 under 4-year period, so 12% siya. So, ibig sabihin, yeah, so here the approximate implicit is 12%. When the present value factor is significantly different from any factor in the table, the interpolation process may be necessary. So yun na yung mahirap na medyo komplikado na interpolation yung gagamitin if hindi naman siya available dun sa ano natin. Sa ano, sa table natin. So moving forward, so the following entries would be recorded based on the updated financial receivable using the net investment already adjusted with the 34,500 initial direct cost. So, ito yung starting point natin, which is nga yung 34,500 and then um plus yung 150, less sa 150 and then less mo siya sa 480. So, ito na nga yung 364,500 natin. So, entry mo lang yan, which is kung nagbayad ng 120, so bawas siya kay receivable and then yung 4740, entry mo lang yun. 2026, ganun pa din, 34,589. So, ganun pa rin siya. Okay? So, same pa rin naman siya na magiging ano natin. So, okay na tayo sa direct financing lease. So, moving forward na naman tayo sa next nating sets of example, which is, it is related na sa ating dealers lease or manufacturers lease. So, again, ang difference lang nila kung kanina credit si asset. So, dito ang mangyayari, may credit si asset tayo na merong additional na credit sa sales and then debit sa cost of goods sold. Yun lang yung magiging entry natin. Okay? So, kanina, interest revenue lang yung source of income natin. So, this time, meron na tayong source of income na related sa dealer's profit, which is difference of the sales recorded less yung, ano natin, yung cost of sales na na-record na natin. Okay? So, example 1 muna tayo. So, dealer's lease or manufacturer's lease with cost directly attributable to negotiating or arranging a lease. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay initial direct cost. Nasabi natin kanina siya ay cost of goods sold or selling expense. Yun yung pwedeng treatment sa kanya. No? So, XYZ Manufacturing Company uses lease as means of selling the equipment that it manufactures. The company uses perpetual, January 1, 2024, the company leased a machine to ABC. Carrying amount, 784,500. And then on same date, nagbayad ng 20,000 na negotiation na initial direct cost. The fair value is equal to the sales price, 1,108,250 at the time of the lease. So, fair value siya nung machine natin, which is yung 784. So, moving forward, the annual lease payments are 250 and are payable in advance for 6 years. Okay, 6 years daw yung 250 pero ano siya, advance. Pero take note to, medyo kakaiba siya. So, first payment natin, January 1. Pero moving forward naman daw, every December 31 na yung payment sa kanya thereafter. No? So, at the end of the lease term, the title to the machine will pass to the ABC or to ABC. Okay? So, the lessor's implicit interest rate is 14% and the lessor uses the calendar year. So, para makuha yung entry natin initially, so finance receivable, paano malalaman kung magkano pa yung collectible mo? So, kung bayad na yung 250, sa kung 6 years to, ay 250 times 5 lang. So, ibig sabihin, yun ay 1,250,000. So, debit cash, magkano yung receive mo? First year, 250 may binayad, so debit cash. Credit sales, so si sales, actually given na siya dito, yung selling price natin na equal din sa fair value na 1108. So, yan na din naman siya. Pero you can still compute pa rin naman. Paano malalaman yung, paano siya kukomputin? So, para makompute siya, so yung 250,000 natin, is i-present value mo lang siya using yung ano natin. 'Di ba meron tayong 250 na collectible na lang ng 5 years pa kasi nga bayad na yung 250 na isa. So yung 250,000 na yon, multiply mo lang siya gamit ang ordinary annuity, 5 years, and then 14%. Makuha mo ng 3.433. Ito yung present value ng future collection. And then since sales ngayon tinutukoy natin, add mo pa yung related na binayaran related dun sa sale na yan, which is yung additional pa na 250 initially. Okay? So, ganun siya. So, 250 plus yung 858 na rin na-compute kanina. So, ito yan, 1108,250. Okay? So, tandaan nyo, di ba, nung sa point of view ni Resi, meron din tayong ina-add na lahat ng payment plus yung ano, which is nga yung investment initially, di ba? Yung right of use asset natin. So, in this case, ganito din dito. Credit sales. So, hindi lang yung receivable mo pa, pati din yung mga nabayaran mo related to that. So, add mo siya. So, 1108,250 natin yon. Okay? And then, credit sale discount, which is difference ni net investment tsaka ni finance lease net investment natin. So, in effect, yun ay 1,250. And then, less yung, ano bang present value ng 1,250 natin? Di ba, 858. So, 1,250 less 858.25. So, yun na nga si 391,750. Kasi nga, difference siya ni gross investment and the lease, pati si, ano natin, um, present value. Okay, so yun na, na-complete mo na yung initial entry natin. So, moving forward to that, no? So, ito yung initial entry natin. So, meron pa tayong entry. So, ito kasi yung parang ano na to eh. Wait lang. Okay, so ito yung first entry natin. Para may dumoble. Wait lang. Okay, dumoble nga. Tataka ba't parang dumoble? So, ito yung unang entry natin related sa sale. So, ito yan. Mulit lang siya. Hindi ko lang na ano, nasama sa crop. So, ito lang yun. Umulit lang siya. Okay, so next to that, so na-entry mo na yung sale. So meron ka pang entry, di ba kanina yung tinuro natin kanina, is meron ka pang cost of sale tsaka inventory. So dito kasi, in-entry lang muna is yung sale. So meron, hiniwalay niya yung entry natin for the cost of sale. So in this case, yung cost of sale natin, so di ba na-mention natin, either cost of sale addition or selling expense. So ang nangyari kasi sa treatment na to is sinama siya sa cost of sale natin or cost of goods sold. So in this case, yung finished goods inventory natin, di ba ang carrying amount niya 784. So credit mo siya doon. And then, meron kang binayaran na 20,000, which is yung initial direct cost na 20,000. And since sinabi natin kanina, ang ginamit na treatment, cost of sale addition, imbis na selling expense. So, imbis na debit, cost of goods, debit selling expense ka na 20,000, and then debit si cost of goods sold na 784, pinagsama mo na siya kasi nga ang treatment is pareha silang cost of sale. Okay? So, in this case, pinag-add mo lang siya. Ang cost of goods sold mo ay 804,500. Okay? So, next to that, December 31, so sabi dito, sunod na entry natin to nung after ng first payment natin. Sabihin ito na yung pangalawang payment. So, yung nag-start ng December 31, 2024 na second payment. So, para malaman mo kung anong entry mo dahil, edi debit mo lang yung na-receive mong 250 na per year, tanggalin mo sa finances receivable. Then, entry mo lang yung discount na nakabase ka lang dun sa amortization table mo. So, 858, multiply mo lang dun sa rate na 14%. So, ito na yung 120 na yan. So, ganun lang. So, yung simple lang natin yon. Okay, so sa 250 na annual payment, interest doon 120. So ang reduction sa investment mo or sa pinaka-principal lang 129,845. Okay. So kaya ganun siya dyan. Na. So moving forward, so proceed na tayo sa ating next slide. Okay, so still, ano pa rin to, no? Number 1 natin. Example number 1. So, dito sa pangalawang slide naman natin, so, alamin naman yung pag ipepresent natin sa FS natin ng 2025 at 2024. So, in this case, no, Tanggalin ko na lang yung annotation ko para makalipat-lipat tayo kasi hindi siya kasya. So, anong nangyari dito sa una, 2024, tinatanong yung presented sa profit or loss. So, sa first year natin, 2024, magre-reflect na yung interest revenue as profit mo plus yung dealer's profit natin. So, paano malalaman yun? E di yung sales mo na nirecord mo initially, which is yung 1108 natin dito. And then, yung cost of goods sold mo, bawas mo, which is yung 804,500. So, minus mo lang yun. And then, add mo lang yung interest revenue natin na nakalagay sa amortization table. So, yun na yung uh, profit natin or revenue for 2024. Same goes with 2025 since wala na namang ano dito, dealer's profit kasi upon sale naman nire-record yun. So, in this case, interest revenue lang yung 2025 natin. Moving forward, so sa 2024 naman, magkano kaya yung net investment natin? So in this case, gagawin mo lang dan, 'di ba initially, pag in-account mo lahat ng naging entry mo noong 2024, so 1 to 50 may binayaran kang 250, so sabihin 1 million na lang siya, 'di ba? So 1 million na lang, so kaya 1 million lang to. And then yung discount balance mo is initially ang discount mo ay 391, 750, 'di ba? So ano ba yung mga ginaging entry natin? Binawas mo na yung ano natin, first discount amortization which is yung 120, 155. So, ibig sabihin, 271,595 yung balanse niya. Ganun lang din. Same goes with 2025. Nabawasan ng 250 kasi may binayaran and then yung discount na nagkaroon ka ng amortization at year end. So, ganun na lang siya. Okay? Okay, so kapag tinanong, no, for example, anong part yung current, anong part yung non-current, so ganun pa rin. So kung 1 million yung balance nung finance receivable, magkano yung collectible within a year? 250. And then non-current, ayun din yung 750. And then yung discount natin, 271,595 yan. So based natin dun sa ano natin, as of 2024, sa 2025, ang discount natin na mag-a-amortize 101,977 while yung kasunod ay 81, 253,557 tsaka 30. So yung total ng tatlong yun, so yun na nga yung nandito sa non-current na 169. Tapos current to. So ganun lang siya. Same lang sa bonds natin. Balance ng discount na related dun sa collectible within a year. So yun yung sa current natin. Okay? So same goes na na-discuss natin kanina. Yung principal due next year, magkano nga uli? So yun ay 148. So since dito, yun yung current ng 2024. So walang accrued interest kasi wala naman tayong hindi naman hindi, nag-coincide naman yung interest, yung lease year natin, pati yung reporting date. Kaya wala tayong accrued. So, kaya zero yung accrued interest done. Okay? Kasi lahat ng earned interest is bayad na siya as of year end. So zero siya. Okay? So yung naging application natin dito sa baba, tsaka dito sa taas na to, ganun din sa 2025. Okay? So, moving forward, so example number 2 na tayo. So, ito medyo komplikado na yung itsura ng computation kasi ang nangyari dito, meron na tayong guaranteed, unguaranteed na residual value. Na-discuss natin kapag unguaranteed, ang treatment sa kanya ay, ano ang treatment sa kanya? Reduction sa reduction siya sa ating cost of goods sold. So, yun yung treatment natin kapag unguaranteed. Kasi in effect, di naman siya babayaran sa'yo so parang hindi siya magiging sale. So, kaya unguaranteed is siya ay reduction sa cost of sale. So, kung reduction sa cost of sale, so increase nga siya sa ating ano. So, take note ha, ang reduction sa cost of sale din yung present value. PV. PV pa rin yung tinutukoy natin dan. Okay. So, discuss natin, no? So, sabi dito, XYZ Manufacturing Company uses lease as a means of selling the equipment that it manufactures. So, the company uses perpetual, and then, wait lang. Biyang, sagutin mo nga. Okay, so sorry. So, sige, continue na tayo. Okay. So, ang sabi dito, on January 1, company leased machine to ABC Company. The carrying amount of the machine to XYZ was 850. Okay? So, nag-lease siya kay ABC. Sa record ni lessor, siya ay 850. So, the machine is expected to have residual of 100. Expected lang, kasi nga, hindi naman guaranteed. So, at the end of the lease term of 6 years, so 6 years pala yung lease term natin, the machine has an estimated useful life of 7 years. Okay? Yan, so yung years natin, 6 years, 7 years yung useful life, residual, 100,000 at the end of its useful life. At the end of lease term rather. So the annual lease payments are 250,000 payable at the end of each year beginning December 31, 2024. Sabihin, hindi siya advance. In advance binabayaran end lang siya at December at the end of the year. So XYZ. Sorry, the annual lease payment at the end of each year beginning. Okay. So XYZ Manufacturing Company is a calendar year corporation rather. And then the rate, ayan, given 10% sa implicit, binigay yung single payment, tsaka yung ordinary annuity. So, anong hinahanap natin? Para ma-entry natin, kailangan natin alamin ano ba yung mga values na for recording natin dito. So, tandaan mo lang yung entry uli natin initially nung nag-discuss tayo. So, finance receivable, yung gross natin yan. So, paano malalaman yung gross? E di yung total periodic payments na 250 for 6 years, so 1.5 yon. And then meron tayong unguaranteed na, sabi ko nga kapag point of view ni lessor, i-add mo siya. So in that case, si unguaranteed, yung gross niya, kasama siya sa gross investment list natin. And then, si cost of goods sold, discuss natin pag unguaranteed, deduction sa cost of goods sold yung present value. So, sa gross investment, inad mo siya as gross. So, siya naman ay deduction sa cost of sales natin. So, paano malalaman yon? So, cost of machine natin, initially, di ba, given natin 850. So, ito yung value niya. And then, pa-charge nga. So, ayan. So, 850 yung cost niya. So, less, di ba na dapat natin, less yung present value sa cost of sales. So, kung cost niya 850, minus mo yung present value natin ng unguaranteed, which is 100 times yung given sa atin na 0.564. Okay? So, ganun siya. So, in that case, 850 less 56,400, ang cost of goods sold mo ay 793,600. So, yun yung entry mo ngayon dito sa letter B, debit cost of goods sold. So, sales natin is equal to the present value of the minimum list payment. So, in this case, ano ba yung mga binayaran natin? Hindi pa naman bayad yung initial natin, di ba? So, 6 years pa din yung babayaran. So, 250. So, ang ginamit mo dito is ordinary annuity kasi nga hindi naman siya binabayaran advance. So, 1 divided by 1.10, ay given na pala. So, 6 years and then 10%. So, that would be 4.355. Multiply by 250. So, makukuha mo nga yung 1,088,750. So, yun yung credit natin. And then, next to that is discount. So, paano malalaman yung discount? Is compare mo lang siya dun sa gross investment natin plus yung gross investment natin, which is 1.6. Rather, ito yun. So, pinakita dito yung future payment for 6 years plus yung unguaranteed na residual. So, 1.6, compare mo kay present value ng ano natin, which is ang present value ng payments natin. Kasi nga, apple to apple eh. So, kung ano yung gross mo, compare mo siya sa net present value ng mga yon. So, in this case, yung net present value nun, itong 250 times 4.355 na to, pati yung 100,000, tsaka yung present value niya na 56,400. So, inad mo pa rin siya dito. So, ang treatment lang sa kanya is less siya sa CGS, pero kapag magkakopit ka ng discount, reflected pa rin siya doon. Okay? So, minus mo siya. So, ang discount ay 454,850. So, credit mo yon. And then, nilipat lang natin yung finished goods inventory natin na 850, tinanggal mo na siya. So, credit C, 850,000 na finished goods inventory. So, yun yung recording natin initially. So, ito ay compound entry. So, meron kasing entry na hiwa-hiwalay siya para makita mo yung movement nung ano natin, nung mga entries. So, in this case, pwedeng una mong i-entry is yung related dun sa sales muna. So, paano yon? So, yung ano ba yung sales natin? So, debit yung 1.5 million, which is yung 250 times 6 natin. So, 1.5 yun. And then yung sales natin, yung 250, same 250 na yun is naka-present value na 1,088,000. So, yung difference nila, yun yung 411,250 na initial discount mo for the said sales. So, next to that is yung entry ng cost of goods sold. So, paano malalaman yung entry ng cost of goods sold? So, entry lang natin, yung ano ba yung 850,000 na i-record natin. So, debit, cost of goods sold, 850. Credit finished goods inventory for the same amount, 850,000 pesos. So, next to that, entry naman natin is yung related dun sa unguaranteed residual value. So, anong re-record natin? Initially, ang gross nun, 100. So, debit mo siya, finance is receivable. Credit C, cost of goods sold for 56,400, which is yung present value niya, which is i-add nga natin, ibabawas rather natin sa cost of goods sold. And then C, discount naman natin is yung difference ng dalawa. Kasi nga, gross less yung present value would be the discount. So, ito siya. So, in this case, ang discount mo, 411 plus 43,600, yun na nga yung 454 natin dito kanina. Okay? So, moving forward, proceed tayo sa next slide natin regarding example number 2 pa rin. So, pinakita lang dito yung paano siya ipepresent sa ating FS and also kung paano yung itsura ng amortization table natin. So, ganun pa rin naman yung amortization table natin. So, yung net investment natin, paano nga uli malalaman yun? So, yun ay yung ano natin kanina, net investment natin ay discount less finance lease receivable. So, 1,600,000 lang less per 54.85. So, ganun pa rin naman yan. 1.6 less per 54. Yun yung net investment, which is 11,451.50. So, 11,451.50, which is, ito pa rin naman yung reflect natin dito. So, yun lang siya. And then, same pa rin ng application. Implicit rate, multiply mo dito. So, 10% yun. If I'm not mistaken. So, 10% yun. So, ito yun. So, 250 na payment, less yun yung reduction sa net investment or principal. Okay? So, ganun siya. Hanggang mag-zero by the end of the 6 years. So, entry mo lang, 2024, 2025, magbase ka lang dito. 250 na payment, tsaka yung interest natin ng 2024, tsaka 2025. Okay? So, next to that, so proceed naman tayo dun sa ano natin, para siya ipapresent sa FS. So, meron ulit tayong dalawang date na i-reference natin, which is si 2025 tsaka si 2024. So, ganun pa rin. Naka-record na sa'yo, di ba, yung sales na 1,088,000, which is yung, ano natin, yung 250 times yung present value factor. So, and then less yung cost of goods sold na minus na natin dyan yung unguaranteed residual value na present value niya. Yun yung dealer's profit natin or gross profit or manufacturer's profit. And then, interest revenue, may nirecord tayo, diba, at the end of the year. So, ito yun. And then, sa year ended 2025, ito lang yung income mo. So, yun siya. And then, sa finances receivable natin, ganun pa rin tayo. Kung magkano yung net investment, edi yung balance ng finances receivable, less yung balance ng discount. So, 1,350 na lang to kasi yung 1,600 minus yung 250. So, 1,350 na lang yun. Then, yung discount natin, yung initial mong naka-record minus yung, ano natin, yung binawas mo na 114,515. Eh, magkano ba initial nating naka-record kanina? So, sabi dito, initially mo naka-record ay 454,850, di ba? Ito yon. And then, less yung initial mong entry na 114,515, which is 340 to 335. Same ka lang din dito. So, yun na yung makukuha mong computation. So, kung paano yung current tsaka non-current, so magbase ka lang uli dito. Hatiin mo lang ulit siya based dun sa kung ano yung part na ma-amortize na by next year. Okay? So, moving forward, so proceed na tayo sa third. So, sa third na example, so meron lang naman tayong for examples dito. So, sa third example, with guaranteed residual value siya. Actually, simple lang naman. Ang magiging difference lang nila is yung amount ni cost of goods sold tsaka ni sales. Kasi again, kanina, binawas mo kay cost of goods sold yung present value. Pero kasi kapag guaranteed, di ba, sa na-mention natin, plus siya sa sales. So, kung kanina minus sa cost of goods sold, ngayon naman add sa sales. Okay? Ganun yung magiging treatment natin. So, moving forward, so again, ito ay, again, addition, kapag guaranteed, since guaranteed nga siya ni Leslie, it's as if part siya ng sales mo. Okay? So, ito yung magiging entry natin. So, paano mangyayari yan? So, yung cost of goods sold as is yan, which is yung value din ng inventory. And then, yung sales natin is, yung initial natin kanina, sabi doon, yung 250 times yung present value, add mo lang yung, ano natin, yung present value nung ano natin, residual value kanina, which is, na-mention natin kanina, yun ay 56,400. So kung kanina, ang sales mo ay 1,145, diba? Itong 1,088,000 sa baba, sa lower left, 1,088,750 plus yung 56,400. So yun na nga yung makakompute mo doon, yung 1,145,150. Okay? So ito yon, yung 1,145,150. Imbis na bawas sa CGS, dagdag siya. Dinagdag mo lang siya sa sales. Okay? And then, ano pa nangyari? Yung discount, same pa rin yan. Hindi siya nagbago. And then yung finances receivable, ganun pa rin. So, sabihin ang nagbago lang talaga, CGS tsaka kay sales kapag guaranteed or unguaranteed yung residual natin. Okay, so moving forward, so entry mo lang din, ang nangyari, ito yung compound, ginawa lang separate entries. So kapag single entry, so ganun pa rin. In-entry mo na yung sales, so 1.5 yung collectible kasi 250 times 6. Credit si sales, which is present value nito, which is yung net investment price niya or present value. Difference would be discount. And then record mo lang yung 850 na inventory na binenta mo. And then, record mo lang uli yung guaranteed residual natin na finance receivable mo siya and then addition kay sales kaya credit to. And then difference would be addition din sa discount. So, ganun pa rin naman siya. Okay, same pa rin siya ng entry natin. Okay? So, moving forward, when the residual value daw is guaranteed or unguaranteed, all other transaction would be the same naman daw. So, yung mga nag-entries natin kanina, ganun pa rin naman siya. Okay? So, if by the end of the lease term, on December 31, 2029, kasi diba siya nga ay 6 years, after recording the last periodic collection, the finance receivable will have 100,000 balance, which equals the residual value na nag-guarantee natin. So if the actual residual value or proceeds from the sale of the lease asset approximates its expected residual value, no gain or loss will be recognized by the lessor. Okay? So at the expiration of the lease, kapag nag-expire na, the equipment will be reverted. Babalik na kay lessor. Kung kanina, binawas na natin siya, since babalik na nga sa'yo, so, babalik na siya sa'yo, so balik mo siya as finished goods inventory, pero at its residual value, guaranteed na lang. Credit si finances receivable. Okay? Kapag equal naman, wala kang kailangang i-record. Pero sabi dito, if the residual is unguaranteed, okay? The lessor will recognize a loss. So, na-discuss na naman natin yan before, di ba? Kapag unguaranteed, any losses will be borne by the lessee. Okay, so in this case, if the residual value is unguaranteed, so kapag unguaranteed, ang magbaborn si lessor. Kapag guaranteed, ang magbaborn ay si lessee. So kapag unguaranteed daw yan, and then for example, 92,000 net realizable value, since unguaranteed siya, so ibig sabihin, ang magbibear ng loss si lessor. So kaya in-entry mo dito, debit loss. If, yun nga, if yung ano natin ay unguaranteed yung residual value. Pero pag guaranteed, ganito lang naman talaga siya. Any losses will be borne by the lessee. Okay? Okay, so yun nga, kapag wala kang ilaloss na entry. Kapag guaranteed. So moving forward, so last example na tayo, example number 4. So sa example number 4, kung kanina residual value guaranteed or unguaranteed. So this time naman, ang example number 4 natin is kapag with bargain purchase option. So na-mention natin kanina, pag with bargain purchase option, ibig sabihin is equal lang siya ng treatment dun sa guaranteed residual value natin. So kung equal sila ng or same sila ng entry sa or treatment sa residual guaranteed residual value natin. So ibig sabihin siya ay add sa sales natin. Okay? So yan. So sabi dito, the lease machine 850 pa rin, 6 years yung lease. 7 years economic life, so can purchase the machine at the end. So ito may BPO or purchase option na 100, implicit ay 10%. So, yan, the information above is the same with example 2 and 3 discussed kanina, except that 100 ay hindi residual kundi BPO. So instead, so the lessor, same manner with guaranteed, so addition sa sales. That's the entries during the entire term of the lease, so same siya na example number 3 natin. Okay, which is addition kay sales yung present value ng bargain purchase option. And then yung 100, part siya ng finance lease receivable natin at gross price. So if at the expiration of the lease, the lessee exercises its option, ibig sabihin, bibili niya talaga yung assets. Ibig sabihin, ang i-record mo doon is debit cash kasi na-receive mo na yung 100,000 and hindi mo na ibabalik sa'yo yung ano natin, yung asset. 'Di ba kanina binabalik debit yung asset na binalik. So ngayon, ang hindi na binalik sa ang binalik sa cash na lang to ano that to purchase the said asset. Then credit si finance receivable na 100,000. So pero sabi dito if hindi daw pinurchase. So the inventory account shall be charged upon receipt of the asset from the lessee. So asset account to, iba other than cash. Kung pag bumalik sa yung asset, i-record mo ulit yung asset. Then, credit mo pa rin si finance receivable. Sinong kanina natin kapag hindi binili. No. So, if the lease contains neither, so pag walang bargain purchase option, walang guaranteed or unguaranteed, the lessor prepares no entry. Kasi nga, again, magre-record ka lang naman kapag may bargain purchase option, guaranteed or unguaranteed, di ba? So, in that case, wala kang magiging gandong recording kung walang BPO, walang guaranteed or unguaranteed. Kasi itong nire-record nga ay residual value. So, an income sales account is credited upon the subsequent sale of the said asset. Okay? So, lastly na tayo is yung last slide natin for the sale and leaseback transaction. So, initially, na-discuss na natin yung sale and leaseback transaction sa point of view ni lessee. So, medyo komplikado yun. May mga ROU tayo. Pero sa point of view kasi ni lessor, very simple lang siya. So, in this case, so again, kapag sale leaseback transaction is, ang mangyayari, magbebenta si lessee. So, siya yung magiging seller. Ay, si seller, magbebenta siya kay buyer ng certain na asset. And at the same time, si buyer, yung binili niya na asset, paparentahan niya kay seller lessee. So, ganun yung transaction dito. So, initially, dun sa point of view ni lessee, since nga si lessee ay seller din, alam niya yung carrying value. Pero sa point of view kasi ni lessor, buyer lessor, hindi niya alam kung ano yung carrying value nun, di ba, kay lessee, seller lessee. So, in this case, ang concern na lang natin dito ay si selling price saka fair value. Okay? So, mas simple to compare din sa initial natin sa point of view ni lessee kasi walang ROU kang kailangan computin kasi nga wala kang carrying value eh. Selling price tsaka fair value lang yung concern mo. So, sa sale and leaseback, dalawa yung transaction done, sale tsaka leaseback. Na kapag sale, so kapag sale, no, ang nagbenta ay si seller. So, sa point of view ni buyer, siya yung bumibili. So, kung siya yung bumibili, entry niya done, debit yung asset na binili niya, debit si financial asset, credit cash. So, ito ay kapag lower of fair value. Kasi di ba na-mention ko kanina may fair value at selling price. Na most likely naman talaga, pag bibili ka, dapat equal yan. Di ba? Na-discuss natin yung sa sales back before sa lessee. Most likely equal talaga dapat yan. May instances lang na hindi sila equal. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na may maling competition. Ibig sabihin lang nun, either may additional financing or advanced rental. So, in this case, kapag fair value is equal to selling price, so di ba ang na-discuss natin kasi, sa ang mag-govern kasi sa purchase na to is yung IAS 16 natin for PPE. Paano ba nagre-record ng purchase? 'Di ba? Kasi in effect, normal na purchase naman to eh. Nag-lease back lang after. Pero normal na purchase mo lang to sa point of view ni buyer lessor. So IAS 16, so kung magre-record siya ka, 'di ba, cost method tayo. So in this case, kapag fair value is equal to selling price, so debit asset ka lang, credit cash. And then, di ba na-discuss ko nga ito ay lower of fair value siya ka selling price tayo. So kapag ang nangyari naman, si fair value ay, for example, greater than the selling price. Eh di ba nga cost method tayo, so kung mas malaki si fair value kay selling price, 'di ba? Kung magkano mo pa rin naman siya binili talaga, ganun pa rin yung mananaig. So ano bang lower sa kanila? Selling price. Ibig sabihin, debit asset pa rin, credit cash. Okay? So ganun siya. So ganun yung entry natin. Pero what if ang nangyari si fair value is mas maliit na kay selling price. Ibig sabihin, mas mahal yung binayad mo. So, kung mas mahal yung binayad mo, hindi ibig sabihin nun na yun na din yung price ng asset. Kasi 'di ba ang nangyayari nga natin diyan is lower of fair value at selling price dapat yung asset mo based on IAS 16. So in this case, kung mas malaki si selling price, hindi ibig sabihin no, na yun na yung value ng asset mo. Ibig sabihin kaya mas malaki si selling price is pumayag ka na malaki yung babayaran mo kasi yung difference na yun is again parang sa na-discuss natin sa lessee's point of view, additional financing yun. Ibig sabihin, nagpautang ka para in effect, magkaroon ka ng interest through the lease term natin. So in this case, debit si asset kapag lower si fair value kesa kay selling price. So, ibig sabihin, yung fair value, yun talaga yung value ng asset talaga dapat. So, debit asset, kung magkano yung fair value. Again, kapag lower to, kasi nga lower between the two tayo. So, debit asset, credit cash at a higher amount. So, yung difference nila would constituted as financial asset or receivable natin. Na yun na nga yung sinusuportahan niya yung ano natin kanina na additional financing siya sa point of view ni lessor. Either din naman kay lessee, additional financing na binigay ni ano natin, seller lessee. Okay? So, yun siya. So, ang next na lang natin, so ganito lang kasimple yung sa sale natin. Ang entry mo lang, asset, debit asset, credit cash. Nagkakaroon lang ng financial asset kapag mas malaki yung binayaran. So, pag malaki yung binayaran, ibig sabihin, ang asset mo kasi at fair value dapat kasi nga lower. Okay? So, any difference would be constituted as receivable natin or financial asset natin. So, moving forward, so after mo may benta, so after binenta sa'yo rather, so after binenta sa'yo, so yung selling price na to, other term than kung ikaw si buyer, purchase price naman siya. So, para lang alam natin kung paano siya, i-account. Kasi nga sale talaga yung nangyari or acquisition. So, moving forward, so yung binili natin na certain asset, so ang nangyayari, diba nililease back yun ni seller lessee. So, paparentahan mo sa kanya na either operating lease or finance lease. Kasi yun nga, diba kapag lessor ka, either operating lease or finance lease siya. So, kapag ang lease daw ay operating lease lang, ibig sabihin, yung payment sa'yo, yun na yung rent mo. Okay? So, ang mangyayari mo dan, so debit cash, credit rent income. Okay? Kung magkano yung binayad sa'yo. Yung normal lang na entry natin kapag operating lease. And then depreciation mo, ganun pa rin. Okay? So, yun ay kapag fair value is equal to selling price. Okay? So, what if fair value is greater than selling price? So, anong nangyari dan, di ba? Kung ano yung lower, yun yung magiging value ng assets. Sabihin, ito pa rin yun. So, in this case, yung normal pa rin yan. So, debit cash, credit rent income, debit depreciation expense, credit account debt, depend sa asset pa rin natin, which is at cost pa rin naman. Pero, ang mangyayari na dan, meron tayong instances na kapag si fair value ay less than the selling price. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki si selling price ng binenta sa'yo. So, kung mas malaki si selling price, yun na nga pumasok si financial asset. So, ngayon, yung financial asset na yun, babayaran yan sa'yo kasabay nung bayad ng sa'yo, ng lease, ng operating lease. So, in that case, may debit ka sa cash, meron ka for that amount, and then may part na interest income, may part na financial asset. So, paano mo malalaman kung yung certain payment ay financial asset, interest income? So, kapag hindi siya determinable, kung baga hindi clearly determined, so ang gagawin mo dan, gagamitin natin yung fair market value method. Ibig sabihin, is yung fair value, wait lang. So, ibig sabihin, since, di ba, ang nangyari, meron ka na-receive. So, in this case, ang problema kasi is, paano pag yung may certain na payment, hindi mo alam kung magkano yung part na rent doon, magkano yung part na para kay financial asset natin. So, para malaman mo kung magkano yung pang rent, magkano yung pang financial asset interest income, so doon nga pumapasok si fair market value natin. So, since yung dalawa nga yung natin, so yung financial asset mo, magkano yung fair market value niya, and also yung natin, present value of the rental payment. Kasi 'di ba rent nga yung tinatanong natin sa atin dan. So, sabihin, financial asset na fair market value plus compare mo kay present value of the rental payment. So, kung magkano yung magiging amount dan, so total nila, so prorate mo yung certain na payment na yon. Pag may binayad na yun, di mo determinable, clearly determinable kung magkano yung pang-rent, magkano yung financial asset. So, yung amount na binayaran na yun through fair market value method is i-allocate mo siya. So, multiply mo siya, prorate mo siya, financial asset over yung total or present value over yung total para malaman mo yung part na pang-rent, may part na pang-financial asset. Okay? So, next to that would be yung sa buyer, kapag sa leaseback financial asset naman. So, kapag financial asset, ibig sabihin naman, financial asset tuloy. Pag finance lease naman, ibig sabihin, apply lang natin yung discuss natin recently, which is, yun nga, debit lease receivable, debit cash, credit C asset leased, and then credit C discount on finance lease receivable. Ito ay kapag, ayan, so either naman yun, kung direct financing or manufacturers, mostly kasi yung kapag nag-lease back, mostly ano yan direct financing. Pero pag hindi, manufacturers lease, ganito pa rin naman, di ba? Ang nangyari lang, imbis na asset sales siya. Then debit C, cost of sales, credit C, ano natin, cost of sales, si inventory. Pero yun nga, most likely si, ano to, direct financing. So pag direct financing, ito pa rin naman yun. Okay? So after nun, so kapag anong next entry nun? So say ito ang entries natin dito, same lang siya with whatever is the scenario. Kung equal ba, mas malaki ba si ano or si ano. So whatever the scenario industry, ganito yung entry natin, no? Walang difference. Okay? So entry mo siya, no? Ganun siya. So kapag nagkaroon ng payment moving forward, so debit cash for the amount received, credit list receivable, and then yung discount amortization based dun sa amortization table pa rin natin. So kapag again, merong payment, hindi mo alam kung pang financial asset or ano, ibig sabihin, kung hindi mo alam kung paano yung, kung magkano yung financial asset or pang PPE, ay pang ano ba, financial asset or dun sa rent natin, or dun sa lease receivable natin. So, pag ganun yung scenario is, apply mo pa rin din. Ito pa rin naman yung mag-a-apply doon. Okay? So, ganun naman siya kahit sa kanila. So, yun yung sa sale leaseback natin. So, again, sabi dito, no, if the transfer of asset by the seller, so, di ba minsan pag may sale in leaseback, in effect, sale talaga siya, di ba? So, what if hindi siya nag-constitute as sale under IFRS 15? So, paano mangyayari? Kasi in effect, ito yung entry kapag siya ay na-consider as sale under IFRS 15. So what if hindi siya na-consider as sale? So sabi dito, if the transfer of asset by the seller lessee does not qualify as a sale under IFRS 15, the buyer lessor shall not recognize the transferred asset. So sabihin, hindi dapat ito mag-take place. Okay, kapag hindi siya naging under IFRS 15, ibig sabihin hindi siya good as sale. Kung hindi siya naging good as sale, wala naging transfer ng said title. So sabi dito, the buyer lessor siya shall not record any asset transferred. Okay? And shall recognize a financial asset. Ang i-recognize na lang, financial asset. And then sabi dito, equal sa transfer na proceeds. Kung magkano yung binayad niya, ang i-debit niya, hindi asset, financial asset or asset lang. Ang record niya, financial asset lang. Okay? Ganito yung entry lang niya kapag hindi nag-gain sale as per IFRS 15 natin. Okay? So, sa page 233 to 234, nandun na yung mga disclosure. Pabasa na lang ako. Pero one of those na na-discuss ko kanina, yung finance receivable balance, saka discount na balance as of end of the period, kailangan siya din i-disclose sa ano natin, sa FS natin, sa FS ni lessor. Okay? So, moving forward, so next meeting, I will be discussing dahil pa tayong discussion. Ang discussion na lang natin doon is homework answering. So, magdadagdag ako ng homeworks natin, no? Para by next week, Tuesday, is we will be discussing we will be trying problem solving. Okay? And then if we still have time, we will continue starting the shareholders equity, and then the following meeting after that would be the quiz and then continuation of the shareholders equity. So that would be the last chapter of our semester. Okay? So, moving forward, so, yun lang naman yung sa leases natin, no? Sa point of view na lessor. So, again, ang point of view lang natin, pag magpa-problem solving tayo, one of those na kailangan tandaan, ano ba yung transaction? Operating lease ba or finance lease? So, pag alam mo na yon sa finance lease, ano ba siya? Direct financing or dealers or manufacturers. So, kapag ganun yung scenario, alamin mo ulit, sino ka ba, lessor or lessee? And that onwards, kaya mo na malaman kung paano ka magre-record. Okay? So, in that case, so that would be all under our leases. So, thank you for listening. So, see you next meeting class. Also, bukas pala, see you sa ating taxation. So, yun lang. So, thank you very much. Bye-bye.